Hello, everybody, and welcome to Merlin's Q&A. We got a couple questions here, so I figure I'd get a little video to you guys to be the final one for the year. So, starting off with CrazyBoy190, been a subscriber for quite some time. Do you prefer FMA over your favorite American comic? Well, when I think of comics, I think of like trade collections of stories. So I would say, yeah, probably. I actually think Fullmetal Alchemist is still easily one of my favorite anime series. As far as comparing manga to it, maybe not so much. I really do like Guardian Devil, the Daredevil story, which is still probably my favorite comic. But I will admit, I think that my love for FMA is greater than that one. It does outweigh it a bit. Are there any characters in American comics that you resonated with as much as Ed now? You know, the only two that I can really think of would probably be Daredevil and Green Arrow. I'm not entirely sure why, because I can honestly say that in terms of worlds, I guess Spider-Man for a long time was probably the one that resonated the most with me as a kid growing up, and that I still feel connection to. But as I've gotten older, I think that I've gotten a little out of sync with Spider-Man, though I still really get invested in his world, and I really like his villains, and same thing with Batman. But the two characters that I feel like I resonated with about the same level as Ed now is probably Daredevil and Green Arrow. I'm not sure why. Just those comics that I read of them back when I was in high school, with the Kevin Smith runs on both of them, kind of in the early 2000s. I really enjoy both their stories and the take on their characters. Just very complex, kind of a darker side, but often with a little bit of humor in there, especially for Green Arrow. But yeah, I'd say probably those two. Alright, got a couple from Walking Double O Dead. Some of you guys might know him. What movie are you looking forward to the most in 2018? Well, I was looking through the list, and honestly, I think it's probably Deadpool 2. I really like the first Deadpool, and the second one is going to have Cable in it. It's going to have time travel. I know that the whole nature of Deadpool is to be kind of jokey and meta, but I would like a slightly more serious story this time. And I've heard that Mr. Sinister might be involved, and he's my favorite X-Men villain, so hopefully that's good. I'm also really looking forward to Jurassic World, Infinity War, of course, and Ready Player One. I think they all look really awesome. And there's probably a couple other ones that are coming out that are good, too, I'm going to catch for sure. Next one isn't really a question, I guess more of a suggestion. Thinking we should review each episode of FMA. You know, it's funny he said that, because for the past, year or so, I've been thinking, it's kind of one thing I think I might do on the channel is, how else could I talk about FMA in a way that's different than I've talked about it a bunch of times before? And I was thinking about doing an episode guide sort of thing where I would briefly watch each episode of FMA and briefly discuss it. I thought that might be kind of cool. And hey, maybe if you want to just go through the episode list and do a big podcast for it sometime, that'd be great. And actually, one of my favorite podcasts I did on YouTube is with Dead from years ago. We talked about FMA and Brotherhood in depth, so that was awesome. I'd love to do it sometime, man. And another one from him, top 3 movie soundtracks. This one was hard, dude. This one was really hard. Because, there are a lot of movie soundtracks that I really like. I think music is a really important component to filmmaking. It really sets the mood and atmosphere. I think it's one of the most important elements, honestly. But there are so many good movie soundtracks and music scores from various films that I love. So I'll be honest, these ones might not be 100% accurate, but I did look through some and thought, okay, which ones do I really like? And honestly, I think that the Dark Knight's soundtrack is really awesome. That one, a lot of the Batman movies have great soundtracks. That one may be tied with the 89 Batman Returns Burton Batman movies. They both have great soundtracks, very different, but Elfman and Zimmer are both really good. You've got the classic John Williams Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies, and to be honest, I actually might be talking about it in one of my future projects next year, possibly. But yeah, one of the best aspects about that, besides the special effects and the cinematography and everything, is the music. Just really awesome score, really gripping. And another one I thought of that I really liked, I like Tarantino's movies in general, and he does use really classic pop culture music. And to be honest, I typically prefer more atmospheric, classical, or electronic scores to pop music, because I think it could potentially date the movie or distract you from the movie. But Kill Bill, I really love the soundtrack. I really think it kicks ass, really enjoyable. Another one of my favorite movies as well. So, yeah, I guess those are my top 3, 4 now. Don't hold me to it, though. From Karina Kamichi, have you seen the FMA OV reflections? More importantly, the homunculi dialogue. The part with Envy is great. Greed? Hey, Greed. Damn, he left. Not just him, everyone. Lust, gluttony, pride are all gone. The same with Sloth. Wrath is supposedly alive somewhere, but we probably won't see him again. At the end, I heard Lust say, "Did I want to die? The reason we sought to be human, even though we had eternal life. Because we wanted to die?" What a cute punchline. Don't kid me. I don't want to die. I will live. I will live and watch it all happen. The sight of the foolish humans that created us writhing and suffering, tortured by guilt. You guys, you, and you and you'll eventually die, and we, homunculi, will survive. That's when I'll finally be able to forget it. I will forget the reason I was born. That wasn't really much of a question. I actually was searching for the Reflections OVA, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I found a couple little videos, but not this OVA. But that dialogue does sound like what the homunculi would say. I think that the hatred the homunculi have for humanity is honestly one of the most interesting components of both shows. I think that they explore it different ways in both series, but I think the homunculi are one of the best aspects of the show for sure. So if I can ever track it down, I will try it. But no, I have not seen that one. A couple from Pac-Man fan 0001. Have you played Yandere Simulator? I looked this up. Apparently, it hasn't come out yet. I don't know if I'm going to play it. I got a couple older games that I got for Christmas, so I'll probably be good for gaming on a while. I barely have time for them these days. Have you played Cuphead? You know, I've heard a lot of people talk about that. I mean, is it a good game? I'm assuming it is. Apparently, it's hard. It's an indie game, I think, but it looks cool. Did you see Coco? No. No, I did not see Coco. And I know, it's a Pixar movie I haven't seen. Usually I'm pretty good about catching up to it. I'm sure I'll see it eventually. The main reason I didn't run out to see it is because I feel like I just saw that movie a couple of years ago. There was The Book of Life, and it looked like it was a very similar plot. Don't get me wrong, it's Pixar, so chances are it'll probably be a better movie, but it seems too close of a time for me. I still have Book of Life in my head, and I just keep thinking Pixar just took this idea and made it their own. It's a little bit of a ripoff. I mean, someone told me once that the script was out there beforehand. That's great, but this movie got made before. I don't know. It's just, it seems too specific to me. So, I don't know. I'm sure it's good. I will check it out. Did you like it? From Nicholas Bodo. How you doing? Who is your favorite Star Wars character? Timely. Well, man, I actually have a couple Star Wars characters I really do like. But if I had to say who my favorite of all time was, it's actually pretty standard. It's Luke Skywalker. I really like his journey. I really like his growth as a character, especially when you get to Return of the Jedi. And honestly, for the most part, even in this newest one, at Last Jedi, I thought it was really cool. I think he's a really interesting, very human character, and he's really awesome. I think he's cool, and I like the fact that he doesn't really. And when you get to Return of the Jedi, even though he does kind of win, it isn't completely because he is the most powerful. It's just that his ability to believe in his own father and kind of bring him back to the light side. I really like that concept. So the whole journey of Luke and the hero's journey that George Lucas used really works for me. So probably Luke, but there are a couple other ones. It's a tough question. But in terms of the movies, Luke is still my favorite, I'll be honest. And finally, from Ramen Guy, a couple questions. What are your thoughts on the Secret of Mana remake for PS4? Actually, I will admit, I didn't play the original. I looked it up. Apparently, it's a Final Fantasy spin-off, but it's like from back in the 90s, from the early 90s, I guess, for like Super Nintendo. It's kind of a long time for a remake, but that'd be pretty cool. I think it's interesting when they try to really update older games. I kind of more interested to go back and play the original, to be honest, because those old retro games from the early 90s are the ones that interest me the most because they were a little before my time, but I remember them being around quite a bit. Will you make a review first impressions of Bo 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 Bo? Well, if you look really carefully, if you have the time, man, you can you can look through my channel and you might come across a conversation or two about it. But if that is a request, I will try to see if I get around to doing one. I have seen a little bit of Bo 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 years and years ago. I would have to sit down and give it a few episodes watch to give you a proper video for it. But, you know, if you're interested, I'll make one at some point. And finally, what anime series are you looking forward to come out in 2018? I looked through them, and to be honest, there aren't really a whole lot. Most of them are apparently ones that are carrying over. I mean, Attack on Titan I kind of dropped off with in the second season. I guess the ones I'm most interested in are honestly My Hero Academia. I'm still catching up on season 2, but if that's still going to be good and I'm interested in it, probably check some of that out. And maybe Devilman Crybaby, because I do find Devilman pretty interesting, but those are the only 2 that really stuck out to me, so probably one of them. But it looks like those are the only questions we have, so everybody that submitted, thank you for sending in the questions, and, I guess since you're here, I'll give you a little update. There'll be a video coming out sometime within the next week or two, kind of going over a little bit of a retrospective for this past year for the channel, and just to give you guys an idea of what projects I'm going to be doing for next year. I recently released a trailer for my second movie I made with my friends for the channel. Kind of a surreal crime thriller, so it's a little weird and rough still, but you guys can check that out. That should be coming out in January. And I'll let you guys know what's going on with a couple more kind of important update sort of videos. But yeah, once again though, to all you guys, to all the subscribers there that watch this, thank you for all your support. Please feel free to share the video, spread it around. Keep liking and sharing the stuff that you like, and if you keep sending in suggestions for other videos or movies or shows or games you think I should check out, and I'll see if I can get some videos up for you guys. I know I'm busy, but I do appreciate all the support that I get. All right, everybody, thanks a lot, and I'll see you later. Stay magical.